Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I have filmed anything, and honestly I have just been super crazy busy. The whole pandemic hit, and I think from like March on everything like kind of changed. I mean, it did for everyone obviously, but like I think if you're in the position that I am, I don't know why I stumbled on the position. If you're in the position that I'm in, if you guys don't know, I'm currently an LVN, and I'm in the Bridge program at West Coast University for my BSN. And I was in the middle of doing PreReqs, and then the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, how is this going to affect me and PreReqs? And I wasn't really that concerned because I was like, most of this stuff could be done online. I just know that, if most universities, if they can offer it on, in person, it was going to be in person. Well, that wasn't an option. So it went from me finishing up, I think the last time I really talked to you guys, I was in anatomy, and I was going to give you guys a review on physiology. So all of my classes since I've taken anatomy have just kind of been a hot mess, just a legit hot mess. And by that I mean I was really just kind of winging it. And so are my professors, and like this is by no means a reflection of how they are as professors. I'm sure that they are amazing, and I had an amazing experience with them. It's just there's no preparation for a pandemic. Like it kind of just hit and it took over. And it didn't really leave our professors with many options, especially if we're taking a science course. Like, these professors specialize in giving us that hands-on experience so that, we can learn in different ways. If you're on campus, you can talk to your professor like one-on-one on the breaks and before class and after class, and you can show them a pages you need. It's just a little bit easier, or actually a lot easier. So there's just a lot of things that our professors we're not used to, and some of our professors are a little bit older, so they're like, hey, you want me to teach what, where, like what is a zoom and how do you zoom out? Like they're so confused. And so yeah, it just kind of changed the whole vibe of like learning from what we were used to. So physiology, to be honest, I was gonna give like a whole review and like how I passed and blah blah blah. Honestly, I just feel like it wouldn't be fair to give that kind of review because the whole class, we were all so thrown off. It was like, it's just like one thing after the next. It was like there was delay in books, so we ordered our books like we were supposed to and on time. Well, it's not the company's fault that we're sending out our books because everything was delayed and backed up. Like we were ordering our books 2 weeks, 3 weeks before class even started, and we weren't getting our books until like the middle of class. So our professor's like, okay, you don't have a book. How can I give you assigned reading if you don't have books? So then it became us having to do these like more of like the Blackboard Collaborate classes, and it just wasn't working, to be honest. So our professors had to just come up with like a lot of like on the spot, like, okay, this is how I'm going to teach you guys this time around. And we did our part by showing up to the classes and being open-minded, and they did their part by teaching us what they could. So we kind of just had to meet each other in the middle on that, and ultimately I passed the class. I can give a few kind of comments on it, but not enough to do an entire video that's like me talking about how I passed physiology, because it would really just be like how the Lord spared me from having to redo another term. So yeah, so I don't think it's fair for me to give a review on physiology. So I know you guys asked for it and DM me about it, and you guys comment about it. I don't think I'm the person for that, because yeah, I just no. So yeah, so I left off in anatomy. I think I went through like a term or two. So now basically, honestly these terms all kind of mush up together. I get really confused. They're only like 10 weeks long, y'all. So right now I am currently in my second to last term before I enter core. For those of you who are unfamiliar, nursing core is basically like the terms that really like matter and count. I mean, prereqs do too, but nursing core is where you're going to take all your nursing classes, your mental health rotation, your OB, your med surge, your funds. That's where you actually get your hands-on nursing experience. So I have one more term I have to complete before I am in nursing core, and I start January. So from January until August of 2022, I will be in nursing corps. And I'm actually really excited. Like, I'm glad to be back into my element. I hate prereqs with a passion that burns within me. I always try to turn in papers that relate back to nursing because it's all I really know now. And it's all I like to talk about. So yeah, I'll just be happy to finish with prereqs. But right now, this term that I'm finishing up, I am currently in week 8 of, I'm currently in week 8 of 10. And the 2 classes that I'm taking are critical reasoning, and I am also taking microbiology. Critical reasoning, if you guys are curious, it's just a lot of papers, and it's not, I would say critical thinking, but it just feels like an English class, to be honest. So if you passed English, you can pass critical reasoning, I feel, because it's legit the same thing. There's not much to that class. Yeah, it's just papers, and even then, it's not really a lot of papers. I think it's like 3. So yeah, it's an easy class, and I currently have an A in that class. And then there's microbiology. What was that for me? So micro is giving me hell. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not gonna tell you the professor that I have, because that would reveal what school I go to and, well, what campus I'm at, and I'm not comfortable with that. But I will tell you that is putting me through hell. I currently have a 77. Look, don't come for me, okay? I'm doing the legit best I can. To be honest, I started off quiz 1, I failed quiz 1, and then my midterm, I failed my midterm. And the reason I'm actually passing right now is because I've been doing my homework. Yeah, I've been doing my homework and getting perfect grades and all that, so kind of like offset. But I just recently did my quiz yesterday for quiz 2, and I got a B. So your girl is like up there. We're doing better now. I feel better. And I have like 2 projects I have to turn in. So I feel like if I get a good grade on that, I'm fine. But I'm not as stressed out because I do feel like I'm capable now that I've actually passed a quiz with a really good grade. So yeah, micro's kicking my ass because I'm just not a science person, to be honest. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it's just not my thing. I don't like it. There's only certain parts of it that actually tie into nursing that I understand, and that's like, you know, infection control type of thing. But aside from that, I hate it. But I'm doing my best, and I only have 2 more weeks of this class, so I'm praying that I pass, and I know I will pass. I'm not giving myself the option to fail. So yeah, so right now is micro. There's not really too much to that class, to be honest. It's just, if you guys are familiar with Labster, there's Labster for homework, and there's Pearson, like homework assignments, like the questions. That's pretty much it, and then you get your quizzes. So it's a lot of reading and a lot of like breaking down terms. So if you're not good at science, please go get like another book, like a dummies book, that will kind of like simplify all the topics that are in your micro book. That's what I'm doing, and it's helping me so much now that I know how to use. I was just so overwhelmed in the beginning that I was just like, let me read, let me do this, let me do that, and only do one of those things. Now I read the text, I watch videos, I watch the lectures multiple times, look at PowerPoints. I just do all of it because somehow it will stick. So just find a bunch of resources that, you know, maybe if you're a note taker, take really good notes and watch videos. Just, you have to do multiple things if you're not good at science, because even if you don't understand it, if you remember it, you're halfway there. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of like my whole process in micro right now, but that's just, ugh, hate it. So yeah, I'm like super excited to be moving on to the next term. And yeah, so basically with work, I know a lot of people ask me like, girl, what the hell do you do for work? So I am a travel nurse. It's kind of weird to say because it's like most LVNs are not travel nurses. It's not really it's not to say, let me not say that. There are LVNs who are travel nurses. It's just, it's not really as highlighted as RNs because maybe it's not as fancy or people don't know about it. But for me, I am a travel nurse and I have not traveled outside of California. I am all up and down SoCal though, so I'm all over the place. I work with different agencies or registries, however you want to call it. And the reason I do that is because one doesn't have assignments that I like or in areas I don't like, or the pay I don't like, I just go to the other one and I'm like, okay, well, what do you guys have? And I like to have multiple options, because if one pisses me off, they do something I don't like, they don't have assignments I like, I just go to the next one and keep it pushing. Like, honestly, I think at this point, I probably am with like 3 agencies. And I like it because I'm just never without pay. You know what I mean? Or like if I want to take a break, it's like I just have a lot of options. So some of you guys may see on Instagram, and if you're not following me, you should be following me. It's Miss Jackson. But anyways, if you're following on Instagram for some time now, you have seen that I have been a set nurse. So I have been the nurse for The Voice. I have been testing contestants. I've tested high-end clientele, like some celebrities. What else have I done? I worked COVID testing sites. I have worked at SNFs, skilled nursing facilities is what that is. I've worked at different hospitals. So really for me, I just feel like in the year, in like 6 months that I've been a nurse, I have kind of done a lot. Like my resume now is crazy, and it's sometimes really cool when, other places, if I'm interested in an assignment, they want to get my resume. They're like, dang girl, like 1 year and 6 months and you've done all of this? Like, okay. And a lot of people are like, how are you doing all this with only like a year and 6 months of experience? Like, don't you need more experience to be doing all this stuff? But honestly, I think when you become a travel nurse, there's like a different kind of like respect in a way that you get. I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but like I feel like when you're a travel nurse, companies are kind of like, oh, okay, so you are comfortable being thrown into situations and making the best of it. You're a team player. Like, you have to be all those things in order to be a travel nurse. You can't just be like, I only work this and I'm only gonna do that and that's all. And to be honest, I've shown you guys on my Instagram like a lot of the emotions I go through at some of these places, but I take those emotions and at the end of it I learn something. So I may complain all shift, but then I turn around and I come up with a lesson. So I was recently a sitter and I was like, girl, stop just saying. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was recently a sitter and I was just like, girl, what am I doing as a sitter? Like, I'm a nurse, I'm not a sitter. It was just stupid stuff that was coming out of my mouth. But honestly, I just felt like, I have not ever been a sitter. I'm just not a sitter. And if you guys are unfamiliar, sitters are people who sit in a room. Usually it could be a CNA, it could be a nurse, it could really be anybody in the hospital that just that's licensed. You obviously, come on, work with me. But like, we sit in the room and then you watch out for the patient, because the patient could be a fall risk. So they may be like walking, talking, and they're all cool with it. They just may, have trouble getting out of bed and they could fall and hurt themselves, and that, hospital wants that. So you could be a fall risk, you can be combative, they may have restraints. There's just all kinds of reasons why you may need to sit in the patient's room and kind of just keep your eye on them. And that's what I was doing. And I started off the shift really irritated and just like, I'm above this and blah, 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 just stupid stuff. And at the end of the shift, I was kind of like, damn, because I was also this patient's CNA. Like, all things that patient was me. And I kind of realized, like, as I'm sitting there throughout the shift, I'm like, man, we just don't give enough appreciation to CNAs. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh my god, I love CNAs, they're great. And that was me. I was just like, I know that they always do a good job, they do their part, they're part of the team, like what? But it's different when you actually change up your role to basically become one. And I was really sitting there and I was just like, wow, like, me with this one person, I was just like, this is a lot. So it's like, I just had a whole different perspective and respect for CNAs and nursing aides and all kinds of stuff. And I just felt like, wow, that was a blessing. Like, I needed to experience that, because a part of me probably just wasn't ever going to do that. Just have an entire shift where I was basically just like one-on-one in a patient's face. And the takeaway was great. So I've just had different roles in hospitals and in different locations, and I've worked on COVID units, I've worked on non-COVID units, I've worked in med-surg, I have worked in ICU. Like, I have had all kinds of different experience, and really, I'm only telling you guys all of this stuff because everyone's been wondering, like, girl, where have you been and what are you up to? And I just feel like if you are someone who likes a lot of change and you like to make money at your own rate, you know, and as far as like, what days do you want to work? Do you want to be off today, work tomorrow, and just kind of on a whim? Like, I tell them today that I want to work tomorrow, or if I tell them today I want to work tonight. Like, if you want that flexibility, you can do that as an LVN. I don't think most people highlight that part of it because everybody thinks like you have to be an RN to get the luxuries of things, and you really don't. You know, some people don't have any desire to be an RN. They just want to be an LVN, and it's not like it's just an LVN. Like, an LVN is a nurse. So if you're an LVN and you just want to figure out how you can have more fun with your job, or, you know, do different things all the time, look into travel nursing. And I find all these assignments through networking, Indeed. There's just a bunch of ways, Instagram. Like, you know, if you have your mindset on, hey, I want to be a traveling LVN, there are agencies, there's registries for that. So never feel like you're limited, because you're really not. Like, I have a year and 6 months. I'm sure there's nurses out there with hella years on me. And there are, because every time I go into these places, they're like, girl, like, so where else are you? Like, they've been there for so long and they want to do a change. And I'm telling them like my little info for my little 1 year and 6 months of experience. But yeah, I'm honestly having an amazing time as a travel LVN. And just to be clear, to be a travel LVN, you don't have to leave the state. You can travel to most agencies or companies, like if you go more than 50 miles from home. I work with an agency where they're just like, you don't have to go 50 miles from home. You know, if we're going to be dropping you at places, we'll give you the same rate. So sometimes it's like the rate, the hourly may be boosted, but you don't get a stipend because you're not really that far from home. Or you may get a stipend, which is like, from what I understand, I hate like giving definitions of things because it's like I just get like a general understanding, but it's basically a stipend is like a certain amount that they give you for the week or for the month that will cover your housing and your food. So yeah, so if there's just a bunch of ways that you can make money as an LVN. So I just wanted to like come and say that, you know, I've been doing different jobs. If you guys actually want to know more details, maybe about like how to go about applying, what your resume should look for, what you should be saying, what you should be asking for as a pay rate, should you ask for a stipend, like if you guys want to know any of that stuff, DM me, leave a comment below. I don't mind sharing. There's certain things obviously I won't share, but you know, I'll tell you guys if I don't want to share something, or just you won't have a video on it. But for the most part, I'm pretty open-minded about sharing information, because I just feel like after all the DMs I've received, it just seems like people are kind of under the impression that LVNs are like, we get this much of opportunities and RNs get this much of opportunities. So I just want to make the clear distinction that LVNs can absolutely be travel nurses. And you know what, I'm also going to make a video about how I've been able to balance working and being in school, especially being a travel nurse and also being in school, how to make that work and how I plan to make it work while I'm in core. So I have some things coming for you guys. I've just honestly, like I said, been away from filming and YouTube and stuff like that because I've just been really busy and overwhelmed, and I'm also a mom. So I have a lot of stuff going on. So I just wanted to come on here and kind of give you guys an update on what I've been doing. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend that Miss Jackson is in the building and I am making more videos and bringing more content to you guys. So let me know what you guys want to see and I will have videos for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.